Welcome! There is no better remedy for bad mood than a flowering cactus. I was away for the entire month of July, and then when I came back I really was not in a mood to make videos. And when I went outside today I saw this Astrophytum myriostigma in full bloom, and it made me so happy, and it made me full of energy, and it made me full of willingness to make this video. Astrophytum myriostigma is a cactus that has very few ribs. This one has 5. And I used to have Astrophytum myriostigma just like this one, except with 4 ribs. And 5 is standard. There are 4-ribbed Astrophytum myriostigma, and there are 3-ribbed as well. And unfortunately, the 4-ribbed one, which you can look up on my channel, I made at least 2 videos about it. It died last year. It didn't survive last year's winter, and I think it was because the substrate in which it was planted was a little bit too dense, was holding up too much water, and didn't allow to evaporate quickly enough. And when I put it in the basement to provide it with the dormancy period, it just was not dry enough when the temperature dropped. This is what I think happened, although I'm not sure, but I think this was the reason. Astrophytums, not only this one, I mean myriostigma, but also Astrophytum ornatum, Astrophytum capricorn, are quite easy bloomers. They bloom all season, during the entire growth season, 1 flower at a time. I know that they might have more than 1 flower at a time, but it never happened to my plants. This cactus had a flower in June, but I somehow didn't capture it. I didn't make a video about it at that time, so here it is. Let's have a look inside the flower. Let's have a look inside the flower. Can you see how rich in pollen it is? It would require another Astrophytum myriostigma to pollinate it. It will not self-pollinate, unfortunately. And just like all cacti, it has a very large, showy flower. Maybe not all of them, because mammillarias have smaller flowers, but usually cacti have large flowers, and so does Astrophytum myriostigma. If you look at it, the flower is comparable in size to the entire body of the plant. Well, it is smaller, but not that smaller. So it's a huge effort for the plant to produce a flower, for the cactus to produce a flower. Cacti are adapted to dry environments, and it's a huge expense when it comes to water. This flower has a huge surface area, has very thin petals and delicate petals, so the loss of water through a flower is just huge. So the plant is producing the flower when there is enough water for it to do it, and the flower is open only for a very brief period, for a day or 2. And not only that, the flower closes for the night and closes for the part of the day when the pollinators are not active. I'm not sure which insect is pollinated Astrophytum myriostigma, but whatever it is not active in the early morning and is not active in the late afternoon. The plant opens for the early afternoon only, and then closes, and then opens again for the second time the following day, and that's it. So these are plants that are investing in being confident that the pollinator will be active, that the pollinator will be attracted by the very, very showy flower, and by the promise of having some pollen and some nectar in exchange. So, in order to have an astrophytum or a cactus, for that matter, to bloom, it has to go through a rest period, it has to go through a period of low temperature and no water at all. Just like I told you about the four-ribbed Astrophytum myriostigma, if there is some moisture left within the substrate, the plant will not go to dormancy and low temperatures will just kill it. So it has to go through a period of dryness, through a period of low temperature, and then the plant resets itself. The plant is ready to produce a flower when the day is longer, when the light is brighter, when the temperature is higher, and when there is enough water to produce a flower. And then the cycle repeats itself. At the end of the season, which will be probably end of September, if I am lucky, it will be mid-October, the plants will have to go to the basement, will have to dry up completely, and then they will be there for till at least mid-May, maybe beginning of May, if the temperatures allow, and they will be forgotten there. I will not be watering them at all. When they are in dormancy, the cacti don't need light, as they are stopping the entire metabolism and they don't need light. Anyways, this is my Astrophytum myriostigma. I hope you like it, because I just love it. I'm so happy to see it in bloom. Thank you very much for watching my video. Have a good afternoon.